rise. Court's in session. Judge Monterano presiding.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Are you ready to proceed? Please be seated.
Can we approach for 1 moment?
Yes. Mr. Williams, you ready for us to bring in the jury, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, by the way.
How you doing? Good morning.
I'm well. Thanks for asking. Let's bring in the jury.
Jury entering.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. State, please call your next witness.
State calls Colleen Machado. Do you swear affirm the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. Once you're comfortably seated, pull the mic close to you. It moves from the base. Say your first and last name. Spell both names, please.
My name is Colleen Machado, Colleen Machado.
Do you wish to inquire?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you've already introduced yourself. Where do you work?
Palm Beach Gardens Police Department.
And what do you do for the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department?
I'm the senior crime analyst and a reserve police officer.
What does it mean to be a senior crime analyst?
Senior crime analyst is kind of a go-to for everybody at the department. I do all kinds of work from helping the command staff, patrol officers, investigators do their jobs every day through means of data analysis, mapping, research, and a bunch of other functions.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
For Palm Beach Gardens Police, I've been doing that over 10 years. I did it at my prior agency in Virginia for 3.5 years.
Okay. And what does it mean to be a reserve police officer?
I went to the academy to be a police officer, but I only do it part-time in a volunteer capacity.
Okay. So what educational background do you have that allows you to be a crime analyst?
So I have a bachelor's degree in political science with a concentration in international relations. I have a master's degree in strategic intelligence with a concentration in intelligence operations. And I did an internship at the U.S. Department of State in Washington, D.C. in their intelligence bureau. And I went to the police academy. So.
Okay. And you said that before you worked for, excuse me, before you worked for the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, you worked at another agency in Virginia.
Correct.
What agency was that?
Chesterfield County Police Department.
And what was your job title there?
I was a vice narcotics intelligence analyst.
Okay. What kind of background, well, when you were a vice narcotics intelligence analyst, did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. What were your duties?
I did a lot of target research, so researching suspects that they believed were dealing drugs or participating in vice operations. That would be prostitution. And I mapped a lot of their interactions and did a lot of analysis on their call records, their top callers, who were they, to try to determine who they were talking to the most, to find the chain to take out the kingpin, if you will, to work the organization.
Okay. So I want to talk about you've used a couple words, mapping, call records. So I want to talk a little bit about some of those concepts and your experience and background in those arenas. So let's start with cell phone extractions. What background do you have in analyzing cell phone extractions?
So I've been certified in the software I use, Celebrate, since 2017. And I've kept up my certification. We have to renew every couple of years. That includes an additional training class to refresh the training, obviously, and updates to the software. And because cell phones change so quickly, and we need to keep software updated to try to stay ahead of any issues that we may encounter.
Okay. And before you keep going, what is it that certification in Celebrate, what does that entail? How did you get that?
So it's about a 40-hour class initially, and then I took additional classes. So I'm a certified Celebrate mobile operator and a certified Celebrate physical analyst. So those are two separate classes, about a week long each. And then the refresher classes are about 5 days.
Okay. In addition to being certified and the classes that you've taken, do you also, on the day-to-day basis, analyze cell phone extractions?
Yes.
Okay. And you started to talk about this, and I interrupted you, so I apologize, but how do you stay up to date on the latest technology related to cell phones?
So they do, the software company that I use, Celebrate, obviously releases updates on updates they've fed into the software that will detail any new developments they've made, such as, okay, we can unlock this phone now, or this data is available now for this type of cell phone. Now we can decode this. Sometimes cell phones get so old that they'll update it so it's not taking up so much space. They'll say, okay, we're not going to decode this anymore, from like an old flip phone from like 15 years ago.
Is it important in your job to stay up to date on all the latest technology so you can continue to analyze these cell phone extractions?
Yes.
Approximately, how many cell phone extractions have you analyzed?
Oh boy, hundreds, at least 300 to 400.
Okay. So we keep using this word. What is a cell phone extraction?
A cell phone extraction is a copy of what's on the cell phone. It's basically the software will look at that file system of the phone and extract all of the data off of the phone in an exact copy of what is on the phone.
How, as an analyst, are you able to view it? Like, does it go on another phone so you can view it like the user, or is it on a computer? How does that work?
We import it into another software called Celebrate Physical Analyzer, and that allows us to actually view the processed information from the phone. So Celebrate has a decoding system in it that allows it to break down what's in the phone. So I can say, okay, here's all the text messages, here's the call log, here's location data. And it parses it out because your cell phone's holding it in like a database, a bunch of like technical SQL databases in the background that if you're just looking at it, you can't really decipher it. So the software does it for us.
Does the software in any way alter the data?
No, it can only read, not write.
As the analyst, when you are going through a cell phone extraction and analyzing it, can you alter the data in any way?
No.
Through this software, can you generate reports on different aspects of the data from the phone?
Yes, you can do a full report on the entire phone, or you can just say, I want to take out the text messages from this time frame. I want to export the location data from this time frame. And you can do it in multiple different formats so that you can map it later. You can do it in Excel, PDF, and it makes it in a nice readable format for other people to view.
Now, you mentioned something else. You said location information. Does a cell phone kind of log and hold on to location information for that phone?
Every phone does it differently, but for the most part, yes, there's some sort of location data being logged at some point on a cell phone.
Does that require the user to turn on location data?
Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does.
Okay, just depends.
Yes.
What about background information? So, we have what we look at when we look at a phone, what we can see to our eyes, but is the phone doing other things in the background that maybe the user can't see?
Yes, almost always. Your phone is almost always doing something in the background. It's trying to figure out where you are and what you're doing. A lot of it has to do with trying to send you like the right ads and stuff, but your cell phone's always, depending on the phone, trying to send something. Now, there are things that would get in the way of this. If your phone is completely off or in airplane mode, that may get in the way of that data coming through.
With location information, does the phone give an exact GPS location? Or I'm sorry, let me ask that a different way. Does the data from an extraction give exact location information?
Exact? No, not usually. It's usually has a margin of error in it, and it will give you usually that margin of error in the data.
Okay, so it'll give you a location and then within a certain amount of feet, yards, meters, whatever it is?
Usually meters, yes.
Okay. Did you receive a cell phone extraction that was done by the sheriff's office on Ryan Rogers' iPhone?
Yes.
And did you analyze that?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, without objection, the state's going to admit into evidence State's Exhibit 57, the preliminary data report.
Exhibit 57 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't expect you to read it from there. I want to talk about what this is first, and then we'll zoom in and talk about it, and then I will ask the court if you need to step down
Okay.
to review it. But we have here, it says Cellbrite. Is that the software that you're certified in?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we looking at here? Not specifically content, but what is this report?
That is the preliminary device report. It just gives you basic information about the device itself.
Okay. So if we were to zoom way in, this is just information that's already logged on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. Things like iCloud if it's an iPhone.
Yes.
And what about a phone number?
That is going to be the MSISDN.
This one right here?
Yes.
Do all preliminary data reports have that information?
Usually, yes. Some have a little less depending on the access granted to the phone. For example, if you didn't have a password to the phone and it were locked, you might not be able to get as much information as we could, but we had the passcode to this phone.
Okay. So when we look at State's Exhibit 57, this is just giving us information on Ryan's phone, that it was an iPhone 8, the phone number, things of that nature.
Correct.
What's a timeline from a Celebrate extraction?
Celebrate likes to try to put things in chronological order for the examiner on the phone. So it will create, in the software, it actually says timeline, and it logs all of the information that's happening in the phone in a chronological order for you. So it's not breaking out, here's text messages, here's locations, here's a picture they took. It puts it all in order. Here's a text message they got, then they took a photo, then they did this. So it just helps put the data in a chronological order so you can see what happened in order.
Does it log inputs from the person, like what you were talking about, text messages, photographs, in addition to the background information?
Yes.
Judge, without objection, the state's going to move into evidence. State's Exhibit 58.
58 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to zoom out so we can see what it looks like, and then we'll zoom in a little bit. So, is this the time we have here? Timeline, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So, this timeline this is from Ryan's phone?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So, and I can zoom in if you need that.
Yeah, it's really small.
To give you that information. But when we're looking at the timeline, can you get the timeline for the whole phone from the minute the phone started logging this information?
Yes.
Can you also, as the analyst, limit what you're looking at to certain dates and certain times?
Yes.
Okay, so when we're looking at this timeline, specifically for purposes of this case, we're starting it on November 15th of 2021 at about 6 p.m.
Yes.
And then we have certain logs, activity sensor data, locations. This is just what's happening in the phone starting at 6 p.m.
Correct.
Now, if we look here, I'm going to zoom way in for you. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Under timestamp, it says November 15th, 2021, 6 p.m. And then it says UTC -5. What does UTC -5 mean?
Most phone records and carrier records, phones like to record things in UTC time, and that needs to get adjusted for Eastern time. So -5 would be Eastern time.
So when we're looking at these times, 6 p.m. is at Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So that's telling us that this report is already adjusted for Eastern Standard Time.
Correct.
Okay.
Counsel, can you approach? Approach again.
May I proceed?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So we were looking, let's zoom out a little bit. So we've established that this timeline starts at 6 p.m. on November 15th. So would it be safe to say that if we go to the end to see where this particular timeline ends, we're looking at November 15th of 2021, 8:21 p.m. for
Yes.
this particular timeline?
Yes.
Okay. Was there additional data in the phone from both before and after this timeline?
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about that. From looking at the phone, from looking at Ryan's phone as the analyst, were you able to see if there was a point where the only data was background data?
Yes. In this particular phone, the activity sensor data had stopped after a certain time.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Judge, may we approach?
Yes.
May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Machado, the iPhone, does it come with an app, or are you aware of if it has activity data as something that gets logged
Yes, in the health app.
in the health app? Okay. Are you familiar with how the health app works and how it logs this data, or is it just something that you see as part of these extractions?
The user has to have it turned on. It comes turned on by default when you get your iPhone. It logs your activity in the background. You don't have to be running any sort of, I'm on a run right now, or I'm on a bike ride, or I'm doing whatever activity I'm working out. You don't have to have that started for it to track data for you. It's just running in the background.
Okay, so that's a background app.
You can see it on your phone.
Okay.
You can check on it at any time. You want to see how many steps you have in the day, feel free to pull it up. But it constantly runs in the background unless you turn it off.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 60.
And can you approach before you ask your next question, counsel? Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is this a report from Ryan Rogers' iPhone regarding the activity sensor data?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate report from the data that you analyzed on this phone?
It is what was recorded on the phone.
Okay. Are you in any way an expert on this particular app and how it works to its accuracy?
No.
Okay, so can you just really tell us what data was logged?
In this particular report,
We'll talk about
Okay.
content, but is that from a wider perspective of what your knowledge base is? It would be, this is what the phone captured.
yes, and it's what the phone captured. It can be inaccurate, accurate. It just kind of depends on the motion sensors in the phone at the time. And I don't have enough knowledge to testify to how accurate that data is.
Judge, at this time, the state will move into evidence State's Exhibit 60. Same objection.
Exhibit 60 is admitted over objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So I actually want to go through what the data was. Starting, do I need to go closer or can you see it?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So for the activity sensor data in the first, we have two inputs here. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So for the activity sensor data, for the first input, it would be between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah, we're actually going backwards in time. So the second
So we should start.
The
here,
second
is what
one.
you're
This
telling
is 6 p.m. to 7
me.
p.m.
Okay, so let's look at
Yes.
6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So in terms of the data that's captured, and again, we know that you can't testify whether this movement happened, just that this is what was captured by the phone.
Correct.
This information here, is this additional data that the phone can log?
Yes.
Okay. When we see distance traveled, this unit, it says 102.1.53. Is that steps, feet, meters, something else?
I
If
believe
you
it's
know.
feet.
It's feet. Okay.
I believe. I am not 100% sure.
Okay. When we look here, when we have distance traveled, down here at least, it's going to be in meters.
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, it says meters there.
Okay. So moving up between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. So now we're going backward or forwards in time.
Yes.
We have distance traveled and then an additional log for flights climbed.
Correct.
Okay. Now I want to go here to this middle section. This information here, is this associated with number 1?
Yes.
Okay. So from analyzing the data, after 7:27 p.m., was there any additional activity sensor data in the phone?
There was the one at 7:31.
Okay. And that was the last one?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be this one right here?
Correct.
Okay. So that would be the last activity sensor data.
Yes.
When you get location information from a cell phone, from the data, can you memorialize that on a map to kind of give a better explanation of what you were actually looking at?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're actually looking at the application, the Cellbrite application, how is it giving you location information? What form is it giving it to you in?
Celebrate will list it almost like an Excel sheet in the software, if you will. It also tries to give you a map, but I like to use Google Earth
Why Google
to
Earth?
map them. Google Earth just has better imagery.
Okay. The location information do you get like a latitude and a longitude?
Usually, it depends on what type of location data is being recovered.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence states Exhibit 59.
Exhibit 59 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Yes.
Okay. Is this some of the mapping that you did on Ryan's location data from his phone?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit because there's a lot happening here. So I want to talk a little bit about what we're looking at and what these mean. Can you see that from where you are?
Yes.
Okay. What are these symbols right here?
Those symbols in Celebrate mean GPS fix. They phone iOS in the background is trying to coordinate where you are all the time. So this GPS fix is usually the result of a phone getting at least 4 satellites to link together to say this is approximately where you are.
Okay. Where the phone is.
The phone, correct?
Okay. Now we have a date and a time. Would that be accurate to the date and Eastern Standard Time?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's all of this information right
So you have the lat and the long.
So latitude, longitude. So that gives us that location.
Yes.
And then what's under it? The horizontal and then a weird
So-
long number.
Horizontal is the margin of error along the horizontal plane. If you can picture like a sheet of paper, how many meters away from that point you could be. So it's the phone is at that point within 27.67, et cetera, meters
Of this location
in that
right
area.
here.
Yes.
Okay. So when we're looking at the location information from the cell phone of Ryan Rogers, when we see that information, that's what it's telling us.
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you about cell phone records. What's the difference between cell phone records and a cell phone extraction?
Cell phone records are obtained from your cell phone carrier, T-Mobile, Verizon, whoever you have. that you pay your bill through for your phone service. A cell phone extraction is extracting only the information found on the phone. So the carrier has different information than what you have on your phone.
So I want to talk about location information from, well, before we get there, what background do you have in analyzing cell phone records?
Cell phone records, I've taken a myriad of training classes for many different softwares, PenLink, LexisNexis's ZX product, and I've worked many cases. I've analyzed millions. I had one case that had 1 billion cell phone records, so I have quite a bit of experience with that.
Okay. What does it mean to map cell phone records? Let's start there, and then we'll kind of work our way backwards.
So a cell phone record, your phone company is recording which tower your cell phone is hitting off of. And then a tower, most towers have 3 sectors. If you can picture like a lighthouse and it has like a beam coming off of it, there's usually 3. And then the carrier will provide the tower information, the sector information, and depending on the type of data, sometimes you can get a distance away from the tower, or it can just tell you the device is in this general area.
Okay. How does the cell phone company report that information?
It depends on how quickly you ask for the data. More definitive information, if we can request it within a couple of days, we'll give different things like timing advanced or RTT data. Phone companies don't hold on to that for a very long amount of time. That helps give us more than just a general area. It narrows it down a little bit more. And then historical records, months out, you're only going to get that wedge of sector information from the tower.
Okay. And we'll talk a little bit more about historical records in a little bit. But when the cell phone company, when you get the records, like, similar to the extraction, does it give you a latitude and a longitude?
It can, yes.
Okay. What is it telling you is at that latitude and longitude?
It depends. Usually the tower, and then it'll give you the sector information.
Okay, and that's how you can kind of narrow down not just the tower, but what direction, information
Yes.
like that?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about mapping. When you get this information from cell phone records, when you're analyzing cell phone records, can you kind of take that information and put it in a digestible format so you can actually see it on a map, the general area where the phone is
Yes.
at any given time?
Yes.
Now, this information from the phone companies, is this meant for, to be used in courtrooms like this, or is it for the phone company to check on their signals?
Yeah, it's not necessarily meant for investigations. The phone companies keep these records for billing and keeping their network strong, because you can censor the antennas on the tower. If you call and say, hey, my signal's not great, they can adjust all those things. So they keep it more for their own quality control and billing.
So I want to talk to you about Judge, without objection, the state's going to move into evidence state's exhibit 61.
Exhibit 61 without objection is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't expect you to read it, but I want to talk to you about what we're looking at here. And we kind of have we don't really have as much space on here, so we'll kind of adjust it. But we have here in State 61 one of the sheets from the T-Mobile records for Ryan's phone. So do you recognize that? I know not the content, but the general
Yes.
T-Mobile records. Okay. So I just want to go through a little bit and talk about what you're looking at on records. The records themselves are in evidence, but just kind of so we can go through what you're looking at to go through this mapping process. So what do we have right here? Can you see it or you want me to zoom more?
No, I can see it. That's just the tracking ID for the device.
Okay. What are we looking at?
The end latitude and end longitude. This looks like timing advance records. So I believe these are trying to give you the end latitude and longitude of where the device possibly is.
What does that mean, timing advance?
So timing advance is a specific type of cell phone record that a company will keep, not for very long, but they, when you make a phone call or you try to use signal for something, your device sends a signal to the tower. And timing advance is where the tower wants to tell your cell phone, transmit faster or transmit slower so that your signal makes it to the tower and at a specific time and doesn't overwrite anybody else's signal. It's kind of like trying to direct traffic on a 4-lane highway. The cell phone tower is trying to make sure everybody's signal goes where it's supposed to be. And it does that by calculating distance of the device to the tower. So if I'm further away from a tower than you, it wants to tell my device, transmit faster so you guys all make it in at the same time instead of trying to overlap each other. It's really just something happening in the background that you don't even know about. But in order to do that, it's trying to calculate how far away your device is from the tower itself.
Okay, so when we're looking at these records, these timing advance records, did you analyze Ryan's timing advance records and put that in that mapped, digestible format so we could really understand the general area of the phone?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll talk to you about 62. Judge, I believe without objection, the state's going to move into evidence. State's Exhibit 62.
62 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So we have a little bit of a glare, so if you need me to move it around, I will. Can you see that from where you are?
Yes.
Okay. Is this one of the maps that you used, and we'll talk more about the other maps, but is this one of the maps that you used when you were mapping out Ryan's cell phone records?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you about what we're looking at here. We'll talk about the location in a minute, but this blue kind of arc, what is that?
The center straight line is going to the tower.
Okay, so the tower would be up here?
Yes.
Okay. And what is this line representing?
The distance just to where that arc is. And that arc is showing in the records. The sector information was provided for where the phone could possibly be.
Okay. So when we're looking at an arc like this, when we're looking at your mapping of Ryan's records, when we look at this shape, how do we know where in this area the phone potentially is?
So in this particular case, we have the additional kind of helper information from the company with that second dot
This one right
next
here?
to the number 7046. Yes.
What's that?
So that is not a pinpoint of where the phone is, but it's an additional information that was in the record to try to help say where it was along that arc, along with its margin of error. And that's why that space is so big.
Okay, so we have the phone. When we just have the arc, we were saying the phone is along the arc, and
Yeah.
then we have the additional information giving us not exact location, but more information with a margin of error. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So, as crime analyst in this case, did you receive, in addition to your analysis on Ryan's cell phone and his cell phone records, did you also receive surveillance videos and put them all together in a compilation, kind of in a timeline?
Yes.
Can we approach her just a moment?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence states Exhibit 63.
Exhibit 63 is admitted over objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
And I just need one moment because I have to change out the. Can you see that from where you are?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we looking at? I just starting States Exhibit 63. What is this information telling us?
This is a side-by-side of, on the left-hand side are the location data that was inside the phone that we talked about earlier. And then on the right is another image of that timing advance data along with that helper data and the margin of error. And the red box is where Brian Rogers was at the time. That is his home in Alton.
Okay, so when we're looking at, because you kind of put all of this information together, everything that we're looking at here is this kind of a compilation that at 6:35, the phone and the call records are consistent with Ryan Rogers being at his home?
Yes.
Okay. Can you still see that if it's a little smaller?
Yes.
What was that?
That was the ring video surveillance of Ryan leaving his home on his bicycle.
Okay. So in terms of kind of trying to determine the accuracy of these records, do you go through and reference surveillance video to see if you can find any footage that supports what's in the phone and what's in the records?
Yeah, I don't physically go out and do that. The detectives do that for me, and then I put it all together.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's what we're looking at now. Somebody
Yes.
else got the video. You are putting it all in one place.
Yes.
Okay, so that timing of the video from the Rogers residence, is that consistent with the records and the cell phone?
Yes.
So what are we looking at here? We've moved up to 641. Where is this telling us Ryan's phone, the general area of Ryan's phone?
It appears that he moved north through his neighborhood.
Okay, and we can tell that from the arcs and then that additional information?
Yes, his home was towards the bottom of that map.
Okay. What are we looking at here? I paused it for just one moment so we can talk about it.
Ryan is on his bike. He's heading.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about not what we're watching in the video, but what video we're talking about. Okay? So which surveillance video is this? over here?
This is from the bridge in Alton.
The Alton, the Faulkner Bridge.
I'm not sure what it's called.
Okay, but the bridge in Alton?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. And timing wise, when we're looking at the timing of this video versus what we just had on the screen, 6:41, is that consistent with the timing of this video?
Yes, I don't believe he was there yet. It might be on the next slide, but he was heading in that direction.
Okay. And then this location right here, when you have like the red box, are you identifying the area of the video?
Yes.
Okay. Is that just another view of that bridge?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is the one this is the clip that we actually showed in states, I believe it was 62. But what are we looking at here?
The phone appears to still be moving north.
Okay. What video is this?
Publix liquors.
Okay, so Publix in Alton?
Yes.
Okay. And when we're looking at the map on the side with the red square, is that location where the
Yes.
camera is located? And the timing of this video, is it consistent with the records of the phone moving north?
Yes.
Is this also one of those Publix videos?
Yes.
It might be a little bit small, but when we're talking about the timing at the bottom, November 15th, 2021, 1846, can you tell us what 1846 is?
6:46 p.m.
What location is this?
Lenora's in Alton.
Okay, and just to get an idea, is this being Lenora's, is this where Publix is here?
The building to the left of that. Keep going.
Here.
Yes.
Just to give everybody an idea of what that area actually looks like?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What are we looking at here?
This one's hard to see. The phone is still moving east.
The phone is moving east. Before we were moving north. Now we're moving east?
Yes.
Okay. And at 6:48 p.m., so that's a change from what we previously saw.
I believe 6:48 was when he was going through Lenora's.
Okay. So that was when we're looking at this frame right here. This box is Lenora's.
I believe so.
Okay, and then this is to show the phone and the cell phone or the cell phone records are consistent with that video.
Yes.
We have a lot of information here. It's a little bit small. So what are we looking at here?
Those are the records that were inside the phone.
Okay.
Also corresponding with or matching the cell phone records from the company is showing the phone moving that direction.
Okay, moving east.
Yes. North of Donald Ross and then east.
Why do we have so many different location points? Because we talked about what all these mean before. So why are there so many in one area?
Your phone is it's constant. And Ryan's phone is just constantly hitting. Maybe he had something running in the background. I'm not sure, but he had a lot of just tracking data at this particular time.
Okay. And when we look at, went a little too fast, but when we look at the fact that there's so many at one particular time, does that mean he's going from one of those points and back and forth to the other?
No, not necessarily. Those points all have their margin of error, so he could have been staying in one spot, and it's just kind of trying to hit off of things. Different things can get in the way of signals, buildings, just whatever's in the way. So he could have. It's a general kind of a path. He's not literally hitting every single one of those points.
So now we're at 7:04. What are we looking at here?
So the phone is east now out of that plaza, more towards Military Trail, North
Okay,
Military
is this
Trail.
the same time period just from the phone itself?
I believe so. You'd have to zoom in on it, but I think it is.
7:03. If it says 7:03:55 p.m.
Yes.
What's in that red box? I'm not pausing as well as I'd like, but what's in that red box?
Oh, I missed it.
Okay,
I'm
let's go
sorry.
back. See if we can go back. Maybe a little too far, but it's not that. Okay. What's in that red box right there?
I believe it's Dwyer High.
Dwyer High School.
Yes.
Now, in this image, this is cell phone records, right?
Correct.
Okay, we've got a lot going on. A lot of different art. We have and one arc here and then another arc here. So what is that telling us?
He hit on 2 different towers.
Okay. Does that tell us anything where these 2 arches are crossing? Does that tell us anything about where the phone is?
It definitely helps narrow down where the device was at that point.
Okay.
When you get multiple hits off of towers like that, and then the arcs collide, it gives you a great idea of where the device was at that time.
Okay, and then this red box right here where that cross section is Dwyer High School?
Yes.
It's a little bit small, but this phone data from the cell phone extraction
Yes.
also consistent with the phone at that time being at Dwyer High School?
Yes.
So we have another one of these intersections. Now we're at 7:19 p.m. Intersections of the two arcs. So is that kind of giving us a better idea of where this phone is?
Yes, still in the area of Dwyer.
Okay. Now we're at 7:24. Another kind of intersection. Has the phone moved at this point?
It appears to be moving south away from Dwyer.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with where the crime scene is in this case?
Yes,
Okay. Is it north or south of Dwyer High School?
south.
Seven 7:25 p.m. What is this record telling us?
Still moving south and possibly a little west at this point.
All right, let's talk about this. It's now 7:27. Are both of these representative of 7:27 p.m.?
Some of them are after 7:27. The ones in the box are after 7:27.
Okay.
The ones along Hood Road, I believe, are closer to that time frame.
Okay, so here.
I believe so. I can't read it from here, but
And then we can rely on the times that are in the actual video.
yes.
Okay. So in this box here, is this 7:27?
Yes.
Okay. What time are all of these points after?
They're after 7:30.
After 7:30? Okay. And what does this mean right here? Points in this box have a horizontal precision of a minimum of 1,414 meters.
That was the confidence level of those hits.
Okay.
So it was not, they're considered extremely low confidence. Though, if I were to look at that and see that much of a horizontal margin of error, I could not say the phone was in that area at all.
Okay. In this area right here.
Correct.
Okay. Is the crime scene within 1,414 meters of this location?
I'm not sure. I believe so.
Okay.
Sustained.
And then this location, where is the crime scene compared to what we're looking at here at 7:27?
It's south. It's actually on the map. You can see it right in the corner. Yes.
Now we're at 7:31 p.m. What are we looking at here?
The device was heading south on Central.
Okay. And can you tell that from both the cell phone extraction and the records?
Yes.
Okay. And that red box, what is that red box?
The crime scene.
Is the phone still consistent with being at or around the crime scene?
Yes.
Same at 7:35?
Yes.
At any point from the records or the actual cell phone extraction, is there any location data that is inconsistent with the phone remaining at the crime scene from 7:31 p.m. on?
There were just those location hits that had that huge margin of error.
Okay.
But-
The ones that you showed us in that box.
Correct.
Did you also receive a cell phone extraction for an Alcatel phone belonging to Semmie Williams?
Yes.
Judge, I believe without objection, the state's going to move into evidence states Exhibit 64.
No objection.
Exhibit 64 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So, is this one of those, the preliminary device report for the defendant's phone?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Now, this one is much shorter than the one that we saw for Ryan's phone. Why would that be?
So I didn't do the extraction on this phone. This was done by Miami.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there was a passcode in the way or if it was unlocked, but this is an Android phone, and on a less expensive model, it just doesn't log as much information as iOS does.
Okay, so this isn't like an input, you didn't request as much information. This is the data for the device that you could get.
Yes.
Okay, so when we're looking at the information, we have the model of the phone, which is that Alcatel. And then when we're trying to decipher the phone number, that's the MSISDN.
Correct.
That would be the phone number. At this time, the state would move into evidence states Exhibit 65.
No objection.
65 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So, sounding a little bit like a broken record here, but kind of going through it the same way we went through Ryan's phone. Is this the timeline for the defendant's phone from the 15th through the 16th?
Yes.
Okay. And is this a report you actually generated from his cell phone extraction?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to talk to you about what we're looking at because this one was a little bit different. Did the defendant's timeline have location information, that kind of background location information?
No.
Okay. So when we're looking at what was going on with his phone, we're looking at actual inputs into the phone, text messages, call logs, things of that nature?
Yes.
Okay. Now, going through, if it's too small, let me know. I'll zoom it for you. As we get here, we start at November 15th, 2021 at 5:10 a.m. and going down to the bottom of the first page, it goes to 3:53 p.m. So then moving to the next page, the next message, so we had 14 was the 3:53 p.m. And then if we look at the next one, would the next input or anything with the phone be November 16th of 2021 at 6:05 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. So what does that tell you about a phone when there's, a gap? Or does it tell you anything about the phone?
It could indicate the phone was either turned off or put in airplane mode.
How do you figure that out? If a phone, or maybe just the person wasn't using it. How do you kind of decipher between the two? Are there other things that you can look at to gather that information?
We look at call detail records too, to try to match them up with the extraction and kind of see what's happening. And if there's a gap there too, then we know something is up with the device, whether it's off or airplane mode.
Okay. And did you do that for Semmie Williams' cell phone or cell phone records?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you. Judge, I believe without objection, the state's going to move into evidence. State's Exhibit 68.
Exhibit 68 admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
What are we looking at here? Not content-wise, but what kind of record is this?
These are AT&T call detail records.
Okay. So how then do you, and this is just one page, obviously the entire record is already in evidence, but how do you cross-reference call detail records with, the cell phone timeline that we were looking at to determine whether the phone was off or in airplane mode?
Well, these records also have cell locations, so they can be mapped also.
Okay.
So we mapped these.
Okay. But were you able to see anything in the defendant's cell phone records that corresponded with that gap that we saw in the timeline to determine whether or not the phone was either just not being used or off or in airplane mode?
Yes, there was a difference where the cell phone is an Android, and when the phone is either off or in airplane mode, if your phone is trying to receive a message, and the phone's in airplane mode or off, it can't make it to your phone. So it's held in a queue. When it finally gets to your phone, your Android phone will record the time that it was initially sent to you.
Okay, and I'm going to stop you right there. So, and we're just going to do this as an example, and then we'll talk about what's actually in the phone and versus the records. But when we look at the defendant's records, and we'll just use the example of the one that's at 5:10 a.m. just to make it. So when we look at 5:10 a.m. on November 15th of 2021, if that text message was sent to the defendant, but his phone was either off or in airplane mode, when he turned his phone back on, how would the phone in the extraction log that text message?
You would see it at 5:10 a.m.
Okay, so at the time it was actually sent.
Yes.
So how would the records log that information differently, if at all?
If you turned on if the phone was in airplane mode for that 5:10 message and you turned on your phone at noon, your call detail record would say noon.
Okay. So was on anything on this timeline, was there a discrepancy between the time where something appeared to be logged in the phone versus the call detail records?
Yes, there were several from the bank and Facebook that were saved in the phone at mostly those messages at the bottom.
Okay, so when we're looking, and I'm going to get closer to it. Number 14. On November 15th of 2021, this message that shows in the phone as coming in at 3:53 p.m., is that the time that it showed in the call detail records?
No.
Okay. Did it show for the following day?
Yes, I believe around 9 a.m. there were several messages that came in. One was from Facebook, a couple were from the bank, and there was no transaction in the phone on the timeline for those items
Okay. So
at that time. They were from before.
So does that tell you that for a period of time before that 3:53 p.m. text message up until it's logged on the call detail records at approximately 9 a.m. on the 16th, that the phone was either off or in airplane mode?
Sustained.
What does it tell you?
Without the call detail record matching the timeline in the phone, it indicates something was blocking the phone from receiving that signal, whether it was airplane mode or off.
Okay. Can you, from looking at call detail records, see a difference between a phone being in airplane mode or off?
No.
Now, I want to talk to you about mapping the defendant's records versus mapping Ryan's records. Was there a difference?
Yes.
What's the difference?
The defendant's records were not requested right away from the time of the incident. So that timing advance data is not available. So we went with historical records.
Okay. So when we're dealing with, what's a historical record?
Historical records are held by the phone company for sometimes up to 2 years, where you can see your call detail records.
So what information are you getting in historical records that you can map?
Call detail records. So records for your text messages and your phone calls.
Okay. And in terms of the kind of location and what you can tell us about where the phone is it a little bit less precise than the timing advance?
Yes.
Okay. What's a handoff?
Handoff specifically for AT&T, which you'll see in this case, is where a call or a data record, use your phone for data too, started on a tower and then got handed off to another tower because of traveling or moving. So AT&T actually gives you the data where you can map your phone device was moving from this area to this area and hit these towers along the way.
Okay.
It doesn't indicate multiple calls or text messages. It's the same call. Even though on the call records, it may be listed multiple times. It's just the same activity moving through towers.
Okay, so just to kind of give an example, if I am here at the courthouse and I make a phone call on my AT&T phone and I maintain that phone call when I get in my car and I drive down to Boca and I'm on the phone the whole time, is that kind of an example of, will my phone stay on the same tower, I guess is what I'm asking.
You generally won't stay on the same tower. You'll move. The towers around here have great coverage, but you'll move towers to go all the way to Boca for sure.
Judge, I believe without objection, the state's going to move into evidence states 66A and B.
66A and B admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
So let's look at 66A. Now we talked about, when we were talking about Ryan's records, we were talking about sort of that kind of digestible format where you can take latitudes and longitudes and cell tower information and put them on a map so we can understand. Is that what we're looking at here for the historical records?
It's a little different.
Okay, can you explain to us the differences?
So earlier I talked about how you have that tower in those sectors. Your phone carrier will tell us, if it can, which sector your phone was in, where the tower was, and that red you see is the approximate area of where the phone could have been at that time. And then the gray ones are the handoff towers.
Okay, so if we're looking at this and it doesn't really fit in our screen, so I'm going to move it up and down. We have red here on the bottom and then red here on the top. And it says last handoff at the top red. So what if, by way just of example, when we're looking at this particular image, what is that telling us about this phone?
It was traveling that direction, north.
So it started at this first red. It was handed off all the way until it got to the top
Yes.
tower. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about 66B. Now when we look at this one has a lot more red and a lot less gray. Why is that?
They're overlapping. A lot of these are data sessions, so they could have started and stopped, just closing a browser or opening a new tab, or anything on the phone could have triggered a new start before it was handing things off.
Okay, so
I
when
believe
we're
most of
looking
these were
at
data.
66A, this would be one call or one data session.
So we see there's a call, there's a number right there. So we see 12879.
Okay, what
And
is
you
that?
see that's actually just a line in the report number, but it's the identifier for that session. So 12879, and then you see H2, H6, A3. You see all the numbers that correspond with that particular record. So
Okay,
you see another one at the top, 12881 H1. So that's a different set.
that's a new session.
Yes.
Okay, so so the numbers will correspond to all the different handoffs.
Yes.
Okay. And we can really do the same thing for this one. There's just a lot more going on.
Yes.
Similar to what you did for Ryan's records, phone extraction, and surveillance videos, did you receive additional evidence and create 3 more summary videos of evidence of YouTube, surveillance, cell phone records, and extraction?
Yes.
Yes.
So, Judge, at this time, the state would admit into evidence states 67 composite A through C.
67A through C is admitted over objection.
Permission to publish.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Before we start, I want to talk a little bit about what we're looking at here. So we mentioned YouTube. Were you given YouTube videos in this case?
Yes. I screen recorded videos from YouTube myself.
Okay. And from a timeline perspective, did you put those in and analyze them with the records, the location data, records, the cell phone, anything from the timeline in the cell phone along with surveillance video?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, can I just have a moment? I'm having some trouble
Yes.
with sound.
So when I go into this train station, and also as I travel towards, as I travel today, I know it's going to be a lot of heavy gang stalking, a lot of terrific conversations, a lot of facial gestures, and it's going to be a lot of activity, maybe even some violence. So if the law enforcement watch this video, they need to watch the cameras at the train stations, because I'm suspicious they're going to be doing a lot of facial gestures, directed conversation, a lot of harassing, a lot of following. Yeah, so I know they've been doing a lot of violence lately. So
Okay. So I want to talk to you about what we just viewed. In terms of timeline, because you testified that you put this in, based on your analysis, a timeline order. What time are we starting And on what date?
I believe that was, excuse me. I believe that was around 5.
Approach.
So let's start here. What date, that video that we just watched, what date is that from?
November 15th,
Okay,
2021.
we see that in the video it's dark. So
Yes.
are we talking about, were you able to see the times that these videos were posted when you did the analysis?
I don't recall. It was early morning.
Okay.
I know that.
So when we're looking at the darkness of that video corresponds with early morning.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're paused here on a screen that talks about the Colmer Metro Station in Miami. Is that based on the actual content of the video?
Yes.
Okay. What are we looking at here?
We believe that the defendant took the Calmer Metro Rail.
Rephrase.
Based on the video from Colmer to the next location.
The next location is at the Tri-Rail station. So
Is there a Colmer Metro rail that can take somebody from that station to the Tri-Rail?
yes.
The pathway of that metro, is
Yeah,
that
so I see it.
is that what we were just looking at?
Yes.
Law enforcement is here, and basically everywhere I've been around the United States, the law enforcement has been helping these people being violent, and yeah, so they're probably standing here on purpose for like a visual harassment.
Okay. What are we looking at here?
This is the corresponding cell phone records that show travel north between 5 a.m. and 6:26 a.m.
Okay. And the videos that we just watched, do they fall within this time period?
The last video was around 7 a.m., so it was a little bit after this.
But the cell phone records, do they show this cell phone moving north from Miami?
Yes.
What about here?
Still moving north.
Okay. And just, it's kind of hard to tell in this picture, what area are we in on the map? If you can tell from here.
I can't read it from here.
Do you need to step down? Yes, you can step down.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to bring you my microphone and the pointer.
So this is Coral Ridge Isles, Pompano Beach, Lighthouse Point over here. So we're heading north.
Okay. And is that consistent with the Tri-Rail path?
Yes.
I'm going to have you stay there for just a moment. I'll let you know when we're kind of done with these maps.
So I see.
Okay. So what are we looking at here? What kind of video is that on the right?
YouTube?
A YouTube video, and then on the left, is that the location location that's depicted in that video?
Yes.
Okay. And I think we're done with you identifying location, so I'll take that back and have you have a seat.
The cop looked like he was doing racist symbolism, so he was riding the CarMax, which is the black is yellow, and he's illegally following and stalking me. Strong possibility. And he's right here by the mobile, the mobile, the 7-Eleven, and the Publix. Yeah. Yeah, the time was around 8 a.m.
Okay. What video are we looking at on the bottom of this screen?
It's a surveillance video from 7-Eleven.
Okay. And that we still kind of have our map up to the left of the screen. Is that this 7-Eleven located in the general area of that YouTube video that we were watching?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of a lot going on here. What are we looking at?
We have surveillance video on the right.
Okay, and I'm not going to have you describe what's happening in the surveillance video, but there's a lot of other things going on. Specifically, let's first talk about the map, the new map that just was added. What is that telling us?
That's a call detail record
Okay,
that shows an incoming chat message from the bank, which is on the right, where it says that I can't see the exact amount, maybe 843. I can't read it. Was debited from 7-Eleven Boynton Beach. And all the way on the left, you see the details of the call detail record that show the matching time to the chat message.
okay. So we have, this would be information from the call log, or from the call detail record?
Yes.
Okay, and this information corresponds with this information?
That information on the right actually came from the phone extraction.
Okay, so we basically see a lot of different kinds of information.
Yes.
Okay, so we have records, and then this is from the cell phone.
Correct.
Okay, and then does the timing of the surveillance video correspond to the text message time?
Yes.
And just to be clear, that text message, that incoming chat message that is on the screen, that came from the defendant's phone?
Yes.
I come to this Walmart all the time, and here's this racist cop here. So they illegally following me. So they've been fighting with me. Now this racist cop illegally following me.
Okay. So that video that we just watched on the right, where is that from?
Outside of Walmart. Oh, YouTube.
Okay, and did you recognize the location?
Yes. Outside of Walmart.
Okay. Specifically, Walmart in Boynton Beach?
Yes.
Okay, and then what are we looking at on the bottom left with the call detail record?
Another call detail record around the same time. I believe that's going to be at around the time he's checking out, but it shows the arrows pointing to where the Walmart is.
Okay,
In
so
that area.
so that call detail record is consistent with it occurring while at the Walmart.
Yes. This video is sped up a bit for brevity.
Okay. What are we looking at here on the left?
That is the message received on the phone from the bank for a debit alert from Walmart at Boynton.
Okay, and that was in the defendant's Alcatel cell phone?
Yes.
Does the time match up with the timing of the surveillance at Walmart?
Yes.
Okay. Video on the right. Where's that from?
Dollar Tree.
Okay, and that Dollar Tree, is that also located in Boynton Beach?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what are we looking at in the bottom left-hand corner? We see another call detail record.
Yep.
What is that showing us?
It's another call detail record covering the area of that 7-Eleven. Dollar Tree, correction.
Okay.
And
so,
then the details to go along with it.
okay, so the Dollar Tree is within that red space that we're looking at?
Yes.
Is this one sped up as well?
I believe this one was sped up at the time of the recording.
Okay. What are we looking at in the upper right?
The the incoming chat message from the bank on the defendant's cell phone showing a purchase at the Dollar Tree in Boynton Beach.
Okay. And then the corresponding receipt that was obtained from the Dollar Tree?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's hard to tell in here, but we have that in evidence. Do the times correspond with each other?
Yes.
And do they correspond with the surveillance video from the Dollar Tree?
Yes.
What video are we looking at the top?
This is Publix in Boynton.
Okay. Bottom left with the call detail record. Is Publix within that space?
Yes.
Okay. And the timing of the surveillance with that call detail record, do those correspond?
Yes.
And then what's that?
That's the incoming chat message on the defendant's phone showing a purchase at Publix, Boynton Beach.
Okay. Now what are we looking at?
The phone moved north again to the area of Mangonia Park.
Okay. The Tri-Rail, does it go to Mangonia Park?
Yes.
Oh, is that actually the last stop on
Yes.
the Tri-Rail?
Yes.
Okay, what are we looking at here? Just what video is this?
This is Sky One from Riviera Beach Police Department.
Okay. Now, the direction of this road that we're looking at, what direction are we go over there? So make sure I'm asking this clearly. Someone were to start here and go to the top of the frame, what direction are they going?
North.
Is Palm Beach Gardens north of Mangonia Park?
Yes.
Is that map on the right side just kind of showing us the area that this video captures?
Yes.
On the upper left-hand corner of these Sky One videos, we have time and date.
Yes.
Okay, so when we're watching these Sky One videos throughout your timeline and your summary, did you keep them in succession for as the day of November 15th goes on?
Yes.
Okay. So right now it would be about 1:25 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're about 1:44 p.m. Another Sky One video.
Yes.
Okay.
believe it's 2:02 p.m.
2:02, I'm sorry. You're right. 2:02 p.m. So we're still going in succession.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're gonna let this play while we. What's this?
It's this, I believe it's called Stop and Shop. It's a convenience store in Riviera.
Okay. And these videos, as we progress forward, are we progressing north?
Yes.
Okay. What do we have here?
This is a debit chat message from the bank that was on the phone of the defendant.
Okay. At Stop and Shop in Riviera Beach.
Yes.
The time of the chat message is 2:05 p.m. and then we're looking at 2:05 p.m. on the Skyline surveillance.
Correct.
And in terms of this video, this isn't sped up or slowed down. This is real time.
Correct.
Okay. what you're focused on here. Are you focused on the subject that is waiting to cross the street?
Yes.
Okay. Where is this video compared to where we just were?
It's still fairly close. It's about a block away from that intersection.
Okay, kind of moving with the subject that's walking.
Yes.
Now we're at 2:09 p.m. I know it's hard for you to see, but if that's what the video says, would that be accurate?
Yes. Yes.
So kind of following in
Yes.
succession.
Yes.
Okay, so we're at 2:12 p.m.
Yes.
Judge, may we approach for just one moment?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good time for us to take our lunch break. We'll take about an hour lunch. It's anticipated that the evidentiary portion of the state's case will conclude sometime today. So we're going to take, as short a lunch break as we can to make sure that that is accomplished today so we can continue to move forward. Enjoy your lunch break. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. No reading newspaper, social media, or any other forms of media. Have a good lunch.
Yes, because that's in.
officers have left. Anything to address before we recess for lunch?
No.
All right. Ma'am, Ms. Machado, you can enjoy your lunch, but no discussions about your testimony. I'll see you at 1:15. Thank you very much. 1:15.
I'll meet you. I'll meet you out.
Thank you.
Like an hour.
You too. You need trash? I have some here too, so we can share.